Hey everyone, challenge that I've been doing for the last couple of days on Facebook Live. And in today's topic, I'm going to be covering something which I've been quite closely related to. It's something that, through my work experience and also obviously what I've been doing online has taught me a lot about, building sales and building relationships. So I just want to talk a little bit about that because I think in today's times, when I look at sales processes and I see how companies are doing sales, whether it's a product or a service, one of the things they tend to sort of forget about is relationships. And I feel relationships are very important, especially with clients and customers, because from what I see now, and what I've observed, your longer term revenue and profits really matters to the relationships that you have with various customers and various clients. And the reason I believe that is because, when it comes to your sales process, at the end of the day, it's about obviously the client or the customer finding something that fulfills their need. And I think what companies tend to lose track of is, obviously the bottom line, and they get too focused on the bottom line. And that's the reason why when it comes to certain sales process, like, how their sales teams follow up with clients or customers or interested prospects, they basically sometimes push something on a client or a customer that perhaps they don't really need. I get very frustrated when, for example, I get these cold calls and the person hasn't even asked me whether I need their product or their service, and they start speaking, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that as well. So it's really about, I feel, how you build a relationship with someone. And what I want to talk about is, at least from my experiences, because I worked a lot in sales, when you meet a person who's an interested prospect or someone who will potentially become a client of your business's product or service, obviously it's very important to connect with that person, because at the end of the day, companies that deal with other companies, actually it's people dealing with people. And when you're building relationships, you've got to also understand that because people are connecting with other people, then obviously it's about how you build that relationship. Because if you can connect with a person on a personal level, whether it's business or even just on a personal basis, it's quite amazing how that person can actually sort of feel connected to you as well, and perhaps even want to deal with you as a person. So whether you're trying to sell them a product or a service, or you're trying to consult with them, it'll probably be a lot more easier once you connect with that person. So one of the things I do as well is, in terms of my online business, where I promote an educational company that obviously trains people on how they can set up their own online business, is, we focus on trying to connect with people and understanding what are their requirements and where exactly are they falling short when it comes to building an online business or just building something that gives them residual income. And quite amazingly, I've found, well, not amazingly, but actually not surprising as well, is that when you connect with the person and you sort of try and understand, where exactly has been their pain points, and you feel you can help them, and as soon as you show them you can help them something to address that pain point, most likely there will be someone that will come back to you and they'll buy from you, because now you built that trust with that person. So it's very important to build the trust with the person. And also what I want to say is that when it comes to sales and relationships, it's very important that you understand how authentic you're presenting yourself as a person. So people can actually tell, they can sense if you're being authentic or not. I've personally, through my interactions in business and client relationships, I've often been able to pick up whether people are being authentic with me or not, or they're just focusing on the sale and they want to close a deal. And it's very easy to spot that over time. Once you start building relationships, you get to understand how a person interacts in certain situations. Once you get to understand that person, and you can also see whether they're being authentic or not. So in today's world, when it comes to building relationships, it's very important to be authentic. And one of the ways, obviously, to be authentic is to sort of be honest about what is your objective, what is your approach. I know a lot of salespeople, and I'm just generalizing, obviously, but a lot of salespeople sort of take a generic approach to dealing with a customer or a client, and they kind of almost become robotic in nature, and they're not sort of being their true selves, where they can actually show whether they're passionate or not about the product or service that they're promoting. So it's very important to ensure that you are actually promoting something from a place of authenticity, so that person can actually obviously see that you really want to help them, you want to fulfill their need, you want to resolve their pain problem, and they become a future buyer. And we have this term, when you work in the online space, where we say a buyer is a buyer, and that basically is just people who buy from you eventually will keep buying from you if they like you as a person, or they like your business or your product or your service. It's very simple application, very simple techniques, that you can apply when it comes to building relationships with other people. So as much as you want to obviously get a lot of sales in your business, you want to obviously ensure that you are building long-term relationships that potentially will exponentially grow your revenue and your profits. There's a term in business where we speak about the 80-20 rule. So essentially what that is that 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your clients. And that's something that, through my experience, I believe definitely is true. It's something that I try and focus on, because I believe you need to leverage your time, leverage obviously what you're using, so that you can become more efficient as a person, especially in your sales process. And this is why I believe that when it comes to relationships, you need to also be sort of efficient with your time and the relationships that you focus on. And I'm talking obviously from a business point of view. So you probably want to spend 80% of the time on those 20% of your clients that are really the ones that are driving your business. And obviously through them, once they start feeling like, this is a person I trust, this is a person I can deal with, they feel that they can refer other people. So from a referral basis, building those long-term relationships is very important. I can't stress that enough. And I've seen it through my own personal experience, where, because of the relationships I built with certain clients of mine, and because they sort of built that trust with me, and they liked me as a person, they felt that they could refer someone else through their network. So it's really about, creating trust, creating sustainability in a relationship, and obviously building that long-term prospect of, something where perhaps you and the client can also work on something together, in future projects. So it's just something I wanted to stress on. I know it's probably a bit of a heavy topic for Saturday, but it's something that crossed my mind that I felt I should, talk about quite a bit. And if you're people that are obviously building a business, perhaps some of these things you already know, but maybe this video has reminded you of certain aspects that you probably forgot about, and hopefully it has. And I hope this video actually has given you some really big insight about how you want to approach your business, whether it's an offline traditional type of business, or it's an online business that you're trying to build, and you're trying to promote your product or your service more efficiently. So guys, I want to basically thank you for joining me. I actually just want to quickly see who joined. I see Teresa. Hi Teresa, good to see you here. Thank you for joining. I see my aunt also joined, Lovelina. Thank you for joining as well. Hopefully you liked this video. And as I've always said in my previous videos, guys, if you really like the content in this video, and you feel it's something that someone else can perhaps get value from, please share it with them. You can just click on the share option that's provided at the bottom of this video, and you can also join, you can visit my website, www.siddharthbauer.com, and you can see exactly what I'm doing online. And I will see you in another video sometime tomorrow. So take care, guys. Enjoy your weekend and speak to you soon. Bye.